Welcome back, CSE 3200 Yukon Stores. We're in video 3 of chapter 20. In the previous video, we created a FlickrApi. It was meant to make an interface so that we could create instances of retrofit. In this video, we are going to go into our fragment class in onViewCreated, and we are going to put in some code that is going to get us objects of our interface. All right, so we are going to have a variable called retrofit of type retrofit, and it is going to be set to retrofit.builder. As you might expect, this is going to put together the object for us. We need to attach the base URL, in this case www.flickr.com, and then once we hit build, it's going to create, it's going to return an instance of that type. We'll then create a value called FlickrApi of type. This is our interface, FlickrApi, equal to retrofit.create, and now that'll be returned to us, and we will now have an instance of our interface. So a retrofit instance, its responsibility is implementing and creating instances of the API interface. To make web requests based on this interface we defined, we need retrofit to implement and instantiate our Flickr interface. Retrofit.builder is a fluent interface. Now what a fluent interface is it's something that's supposed to make coding easier, make it so it's more usable for coders, developers like us. But also on the power end, it encourages the chaining of methods. Let's see. Now that we have our retrofit object, we can use it to create an instance of our API interface. We have one more line of code to add to this bit that we had here. We're going to put in .addConverterFactory and then something.create. All right, now this something, whenever we fetch something, we are getting a response body object. That's the something we're getting, a response body object. We need to be able to change that into something we can use. This particular scalar's converter factory is going to turn that object into a string. Okay. Room created. Now, Room was our Room was behind the scenes how we developed our database in criminal intent. It created code at build time. That doesn't happen here with retrofit. Retrofit is going to create our implementation. It's going to create our code on the fly. It's going to take what we put in as we built the object plus whatever is in the interface. And remember that right now our interface is simple. It just looks like this, but it takes those two components, puts them together, and it's going to make an anonymous function on the fly. Let's get that code in. All right, so we're going into our fragment, and we are going to override fun on view created. Keep that code, that's perfectly fine. And we're going to go val retrofit lowercase is equal to upper retrofit, not readable. And don't make that F uppercase. I believe we're going to need an import here. But let me finish the line. Equals, oh, here we go. This is of type, not equals, and it's equal to retrofit dot builder, and builder is capitalized. All right, let's get the import now. Good. I hit enter. We're going to go over 4 spaces, dot base URL. And inside, in double quotes, we're going to put HTTPS, don't forget the S, colon, / www.flickr.com. Don't forget the / at the end. Enter, space again, dot build. And then we're in parentheses for the dot build. And then we're going to put val Flickr API is equal to capital FlickrApi. I did the equal to again. I meant to say of type FlickrApi is equal to my retrofit object dot create. And then, yeah, we'll keep the parentheses, but go in front of the parentheses and put an elbow bracket, and then FlickrApi and end the elbow bracket. And there we go. But you know, as I showed you in the slides, let's go in here and put in our converter. So add converter factory. And inside the parentheses, scalar converter factory. Oh, I didn't do the import for this yet. Or not the import, but the change to the Gradle. So this will not be all set at this point. Scalar converter factory, and then dot create. And parentheses there. OK, so forgot to make the change to the Gradle. We're going to go into the Gradle. And we are going to put in implementation, and in quotes, it's going to be com.squareUp. .retrofit2 colon after the colon, it's going to be converter dash scalars colon 2.9.0. Now let me double check that. Looks OK. Let's sync. Finished real fast. Let's go back to our fragment. All right, let's see what we have now. All right, so I left myself a little hint here on the slides. Let's import retrofit2.create. It's not giving me that option when I hover. Let's see if that takes care of it. Nope, I already have that up there. Perhaps because I put the fix to the Gradle in afterwards. Maybe it's not an error. Let's sync the Gradle with the files like this. Set it's finished. I'm going to try to run it, see if I crash. I'm expecting a crash. We'll see. It does crash, so I haven't figured out the error yet. I'll do that off camera and see what I find. It was a missing S. Once I put in the S, I do get the option to import. OK, so that's going to do it for video 3. Excuse me. In the next video, we are going to finish up our request by asking for permission and putting a log and seeing if we can get Logcat to work. So I will see you in video 4 in a moment.